So like we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's just what are you going to do with it?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
There are a lot of people working in corporate America or corporate all over the world that they are sick and tired of the job. They are handling a lot of stress. But again, because they have safety, because these jobs pay them a salary, and they have the big house, and maybe they have the big car and everything. They prefer to cope with this stress, with this anxiety, with the 4 weeks holiday and that would be traumatic for me. But anyway, let's leave it there. So, but they prefer, because they don't want to do the step that you did. Like, okay, you did well in corporate, but you know what? You decide, look, this is not my life. I want to become a different role model for my kids, and I think that I can do better. And then you took the courage to leave that and start your own business, which is completely different, because in corporate you have to be very good at one role. Yeah, becoming an entrepreneur and becoming an investor, completely different ball game. You have to become very good at so many different things that you like, things that you don't like. Because in a job, in your corporate job, at least you said, okay, this is not my job, and you only do what you like in your role. But when you're in business, when you do a due diligence, you need to do it, either you like it or not, and you have to do a lot of things if you like it or not. So, where do you find the courage to take this big risk, especially having kids, to I'm gonna live my safe and comfortable life to go into the unpredictable and risky journey of an entrepreneur? Where do you find the courage to do that? And what message do you have for people in corporate that they will never find the courage? The problem that people that never find this courage, one day they're gonna arrive to the office, they're gonna say you're fired, and that's it. This person doesn't have any more skills. They don't have an age, they don't have the strength, they are depressed, and now they all this big house and this big car that they have out there, it will disappear in 6 months, 1 year, two, and then you're back to zero. Again, it's unfair, but this is the reality. So what message do you have for these people?
That's a great question. So for me, whenever I think about leaving my corporate role, I talk about taking off the golden handcuffs, right? So nice, cushy, 6-figure salary. Going in, I didn't hate my job. It was stressful. I was part of the team that would help whenever we decided we were going to reduce the team sizes. So I knew all about that. I'd worked in the tech space for a long time as an accountant, so I was very familiar with kind of the cyclical nature. And for me, it was one of those deals where I just couldn't do it anymore. I knew in my heart that I was an entrepreneur. I knew that I could make more for myself and for my family on my own. I just had to get the courage up to turn in my notice and go for it.
What
So
gave you the last push? Do you read a book? Your husband told you? Your kids complain? Where did you get this last? That's it. I'm going for it.
So what happened for me was there was going to be another reduction in force. So we were going to go through this long, drawn out budget process, super stressful, lots of hours. And then I knew at the end of that process that the team I started with was not going to be the team that I was with anymore. I already knew that. And as part of that, you never know when your name is going to be on the list. I just could not continue to make that level of an investment.
Absolutely.
With that being the outcome that usually comes for a lot of folks, whether it's, hey, we're going to restructure, whatever it is. And usually it's that middle management. So I was a senior manager. That's the level where you make quite a bit of money. They know that there's a level below you that they can lean on and kind of get to do part of your role, and they can lean on the level above you to do the other part. So it's really easy for them to say, okay, we're going to cut this cost here in the middle. And I knew that, and anybody who's been in a corporate environment for very long will see this cycle again and again and again, because they're there to make money, right? And no fault to them. but that's just the way it works. So for me, I couldn't continue to go through that. And it was something that I just wasn't interested in anymore. I knew I'd been around entrepreneurs enough. I'd started doing a little bit of entrepreneurship on the side. I was working my real estate business as well.
Mhm.
So, like, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's just, what are you going to do with it?
Mhm.
So, that time in the evening after the kids go to bed, are you going to watch TV or are you going to learn something new? And I'd really been focusing a lot of my time and energy on growing my real estate business. So, I was getting some of that cash flow that really allowed me to say, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to
Wow.
continue down this path. I'm going to do something different.
Wow, but I love the way you did it because you see, when you plan, okay, this is how my real estate business. I did it in. I was a room service in the Hilton in London, and in the lift of the room service in the lift of the Hilton is where I built my real estate business. You see, when we have an order for a burger or something, I'm thinking, okay, high floor, high floor, high floor. So then I take the lift. Nobody's in the lift, and then I'm taking the BlackBerry, and then I'm renting the rooms and renting the properties in the space of the lift. But then guess what happened? One day my business was making way more money that they were paying me at the Hilton back in the day as a room service, and that's it. 17 years ago, I handed my notice and never looked back.
I
But
love it.
but I didn't say I quit. I'm gonna start a business. Exactly like you did. Parallel, having your corporate job and probably would be a very good idea for if somebody is struggling in corporate, and they feel like you feel, right? To have a chat with you to see, okay, what vehicles they are available, so they gradually can start to build their own property portfolio, to have some income, monthly income, from the real estate, from some vehicles. Some of them have 401k, some of them have already money there that they're not even touching it. So they can design a way out, and it's there. Meaning, when if one day you tired it, if one day you don't like it, if one day they change your boss and they bring a new one that you hate, you have a plan B already in place working. The thing that it doesn't work is that you wait, you don't see the future, you don't prepare for the future, and then of the last time, by surprise, the news comes to you, and this you now you're out of the job, you don't have any skills, you don't know what to do, and you haven't planned effectively, and this is when people take a big hit and they lose everything. And again, it's unfair because they worked their whole life for it, right?
Absolutely. And that's where that planning comes into place. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have your head in the sand, especially if you're working a corporate job. You have to be watching, what does the
Mm-hmm.
environment look like around you? And that's a skill that easily translates into being an entrepreneur. So if you see that the market that you're in today in your corporate environment is really about to struggle, there's regulations that are being talked about, the market shifting, whatever's going on, you have to have your finger on the pulse so that
Mm.
you can get ahead of that and have the plan exactly like you're talking about. And that
Mm.
way, for me, it's having that control of my own destiny. So I could
Absolutely.
decide, even if it's not real estate or some other thing,
Whatever
maybe
vehicle.
you want to own a
Yeah.
storefront, maybe whatever somebody's dream is or something they find interesting is great, but at least you have a plan. At least you have something else you're working on and you're not just stuck with this
Relying
way of thinking. Yeah,
relying in somebody else's defining your future. Because at the end of
absolutely.
the day, you see, the business, yeah, can be great, but the business might outlast you, or might not outlast you. So if you are an entrepreneur, they build it to exit. Plan properly, build it, sell it at the peak. Trust me, you will find something else to do. And
Absolutely.
if you lost, talk to me. I can give you a lot of things to get you entertained. Yeah, we can take you a tour all over the world to do conference if you're really bored. Yeah, so please build businesses like Heather share with this to sell it at the peak because this will make financial sense. Parallel to that, make sure that you start to work as the same priority, making money as the same priority as keep it. This has to be one parallel, yeah. And a lot of us as an entrepreneur, we only focus, well, let's gonna make a million, let's gonna make a million, let's gonna make a million. Nobody thinking how to keep it this million. Yeah. And it has to be done parallel. Okay. So thank you so much, Heather, for this interview. I think have been very productive. Can you tell us if people are in love with this conversation, how can they find you? How this process works? Corporate people that they identify with what you just share, or the entrepreneurs that at least they agree with what we're discussing today, that hey, diversify the money you're making in your business. Don't reinvest everything 100%. If you reinvest, make sure that it's in a vehicle. If the marketing strategy is working, or whatever is working, reinvest it effectively. But parallel to that, trying to find another ways, asset, could be property, could be something else that can give you regular income in case that something happen, because you are in business, and in the same with the corporate job, it might not last forever, and the same way that your job is not going to last forever. Yeah. Anything can happen, and you have to have a safety net and a second plan, because being is not only about making it the money, is about keeping. You don't want to be that story, oh, make a million, I lost it. And this is how your life you end up in the couch, you see, all telling the story that how you fail badly and things like that. Yes, just prepare for long term. So how people can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate you having me on. And one of the things I was thinking about as you were speaking there as well, I've always heard that revenue is for vanity and cash flow is for sanity. So if you don't remember anything else, I hope your audience will definitely remember that. And if you're looking to dig a little bit deeper into the finances of your business and you'd like to chat, even if it's about you're thinking about leaving your corporate job, I would love to have a chat with you. So you can find me on my website, the Summit Blue or the Summit CFO.com, or you can reach out to me an email at heather@thesummitcfo.com.
Thank you so much, Heather. That's been fantastic. And for all of you following this broadcast, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable. How brave entrepreneur like Heather break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.